I'm on the run, guys. They want me. Evidently, I violated the HIPAA law. I gotta go on the run, guys. I gotta go on the run. I violated the HIPAA law. I'm on the run. I violated the HIPAA law. And also, another charge, I videotaped a firefighter that did not want to be videotaped. Oh, I'm going down. There's going to be wanted posters all over town by the end of the day of me. Oh, I took off. I gotta stay. I can't be in jail. When the cop approached me, I said 6 feet. He didn't listen to the governor, so he might be in trouble too. But I said, I said 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. And he kept on coming. I said 6 feet. But according to them, I violated the HIPAA law by videotaping a firefighter. And well, the first thing I violated was videotaping a firefighter. That was the first law I broke. Entertaining it that much, but he's saying, and then I said the second violation was I didn't have press credentials. I said I can videotape you because you're in public and I'm a member of the press. And he goes, well, the police are gonna ask for your credentials, and when they don't get them, they're gonna arrest you. And the police are standing right there. So he's doing one of those things where he's talking to me, but he's really saying it so the police can hear it. And tell him 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet. And then they start trying to tell me that I'm violating HIPAA laws. Yeah, damn it, I was gonna go live too, but I didn't have enough power on my phone. When you go live, it just sucks it right out. So I'm gonna put it up in about 45 minutes. It's one of the best videos. Awesome. President Reagan wasn't there. It was me, disorderly. So I have a hard time keeping my temper under control. So I was yelling a little bit. I think I called him. I think I told the little guy that's in the thumbnail to go back to the Shire. I think I said something about the Lord of the Rings. I don't know. I get mad and I just see shapes and colors. I don't remember what I said. But yes, I'm on the run. They want me for the HIPAA Act. But unfortunately, the HIPAA Act only applies to certain medical personnel. I am not a medical personnel. It does not apply to me. Furthermore, I can tape anything I want because you're in public. Public is the antonym of private. Those are opposite words. You have no expectation of privacy in public. So, in their world right now, I am wanted for violating the HIPAA law, for videotaping a firefighter, and the elf. I yelled at the elf a little bit too much. And there might be some law that they called in Lord of the Rings. Elves or something. I yelled at him too low. I knew he didn't know what he was talking about, because when the firefighter started off with saying that I could not record him in public. Just him personally, I couldn't record in public. Then it was, I better have my media credentials on me because the police are going to come and ask me for them right now. And he's talking to me, but he's saying it so the police will come and ask me, but they don't listen to him. And then he said, I'm being charged with. And who Governor Pritzker might want to talk to, because Governor Pritzker was just on the TV the other day, interrupted Jeopardy while I was watching it, and told everybody you got to stay 6 feet apart. So this guy did not take 6 feet apart. Anyways, and he did not have his body camera. He says, I don't even have a body camera. I said, well, aren't you recording with your body? He goes, I don't even have a body camera. Well, per the federal consent decree and CP Department of policies, you are to have your body camera recording anytime you engage with the public. The fact that you didn't even have one on is gonna be a problem, but they never know. I think I'm video recording for me and 10 of my MySpace friends. They didn't react like that. I wouldn't have a channel. I need them to go nuts. I need them to be my dance partner. Let's waltz. Right? Hit that like button, guys. Come on, I'm on the run. For heaven's sakes. It's apocalypse now. It's the beginning of a law. Health Insurance Portability Act. I'm in violation of that. And not only that, I really stepped over the line when I didn't have my media credentials and I was videotaping a firefighter. I did it all at once. I just went nuts. I went on a crime spree. It's like that's like 3 felonies. Those are class X felonies. I might get the electric chair. They might reinstate. So yeah. Oh, I can't wait for you guys to see this. I can't wait for you to see this video. I'm literally not bothering anybody. I'm just sitting there videotaping. And there's a firefighter, you can't videotape me, I didn't give you my permission. I don't need your permission. Rocket, my man, $9.99, yes, Rocket. I can, listen, $40 more, I can stay at the Motel 6 tonight. And I'm not telling anybody where I'm staying because you can't find me. You want it, listen, the catching comes before the hanging. I'm not making it easy. You want to put me in the gas chamber for violating the HIPAA law? You're going to have to find me first. The catching comes before the hanging. And I might not even say the Motel 6. How about that? I was lying this whole time. I'm headed towards Indiana. What's going on, guys? Keep flying. Yeah. I have to take off. It was weird because when I was leaving, there was people, they had this big, like camper. And they had all these jugs of water, like, piled outside their camper when I was leaving my house. And I'm like, they're just taking off, dude. They're gonna go live in the Rockies. Like Liberty Bird asked me, that was the one thing Liberty Bird said to me. Liberty Bird's, I put one of his videos on my channel a couple days ago. He's from Colorado. And he said, if things get too rough, you could come stay and camp out here in the Rockies in Colorado with me. And I don't know why that hit me, but the fact that another human being said that to me, I was like, whoa, this might be getting serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just like that one moment of clarity where I was like, the fact that was an actual sentence that he just said, if things get too bad, I can come to the Rockies and camp out there with him. I'm like, whoa, like that's erection. These are thoughts that are going through people's heads. But I don't have to worry about the swine flu or the bird flu or whatever it is anymore because I'm going to the gas chamber for the HIPAA Act. I don't even have to worry about it. I got off easy. You guys got to stay through the apocalypse. I'm getting the gas chamber for videotaping a firefighter and an elf, a little guy. They all swore that I was violating the HIPAA law, and I said, if I'm violating the HIPAA law, arrest me. You're law enforcement, arrest me. He said, go talk to your lawyer about that. I bet you're violating the law. I'm like, I won't have to. I'll talk to my lawyer when he comes visit me in jail after you arrest me for it. Right? I'm not studying the HIPAA law. I wasn't studying it before they came. I just know it, right? There's some people that are good at some things. Other people are good at other things. I just understand the law. I don't know everything about the law. I just know the things that they threaten me with. I love you guys, and I'm going to get home and upload this. You guys got to see it. It's unbelievable. And watch the James Gibson. Like that thing, I did 3 months of research. The thing that's up on my thing right now is James Gibson, from 1972 to 1991, there was a guy named Jon Burge. Jon Burge was a Vietnam, he was in Vietnam. In Vietnam, he was a military police officer. He would interrogate POWs, the Viet Cong. And now that's never been on record. Obviously, he's denied all of this. But over 200 men got tortured. What it was burned. They're called burner cases. Burner cases are cases that directly impact City Hall. So if a burner case came up, like something that's on the news, City Hall needs an arrest. They need a conviction. They would call Jon Burge. Jon Burge his team was called the Midnight Crew because they worked overnights, and they would torture men into confessing. Boys. I did an interview with Mark Clements. He runs the Inglewood Torture Center. Part of the reparations in 2017, they had to build them a torture center. They also had to put Jon Burge curriculum in all CPD schools. 8th grade and 10th grade. You can't pass 8th grade in Chicago schools unless you learn about Jon Burge. You got to take the Constitution test and Jon Burge torture. So Mark Clements was arrested at 16, tortured everything when he was away, and somebody else. It was who actually burnt down the building. A gang called the Monsters out of Detroit. They had come to Chicago to buy some dope, and they usually bought it from the guy that owns the apartment building, but he gave it to his son to give it to him. His son obviously dipped in it and tried to double his money by cutting it in half. Whatever he did, he screwed it all up. The motorcycle gang was a black motorcycle gang called the Monsters. They came back and they actually caught the kid who owned the son whose dad owned the apartment complex. They caught him. Now, when they caught him, the dad actually saw it. The dad released a German Shepherd. That gave the kid enough time to get away. The monsters, the motorcycle gang, killed the German Shepherd with their bare hands. The next day, the kid came home. He saw the motorcyclist. They didn't think he saw him. He went in the front door, out the back door. After that, the motorcycle gang came over. They poured gasoline on the roof. They threw Molotov cocktails through the windows, burned the place down. 4 people died. Mark Clemens got blamed for it, because how Mark Clemens got blamed for it, you're gonna have to watch the series to see it. But James Gibson was another person, spent 29 years in jail. The People versus Gibson is case law for torture in the United States. Just like Roe versus Wade is case law for a woman's right. What is a woman's right for her body, and what's a man's right for his unborn child? Just like Terry versus Ohio is case law for the 4th Amendment to the Constitution. The People versus Gibson is case law for torture. Now, if you look, I interviewed James Gibson, who got convicted of a double homicide, but I also was there when he put in a certificate of innocent of the crimes in which he spent 29 years in jail for. That's on the record. I was there for that court date. It was going back and forth and back and forth. It sounded like the judge wasn't going to do it. Now, that's a huge deal. To just be let out of jail, you can still be guilty on the record, you know? You're just out of jail, you know? And they tried to give him 5 deals. James Gibson's co-defendant got out of prison 3 years before him because he took one of those deals. He said he signed to get out of prison. They were asking him to sign away his right to go after a certification of innocence. They'll let him out of prison. You just can't go after your certification of innocence, because obviously if you're certified innocent and you spent 28 years in jail, you got a hell of a case. You know what I'm saying? You got a hell of a case. You're starting at about 12 million. So he turned those down, but not because of the money. Who knows why he turned them down? Because he didn't want to be, you know, he didn't know if he's ever getting out of prison. His co-defendant took it, and his co-defendant got out 3 years. James still stayed. He had a life sentence. He doesn't know he's ever getting out. He turned down 5 deals. The day before he got out of prison, the state's attorney called him in prison. You got a phone call, Gibson, you got a phone call. He picks up the phone. They offered him the best deal out of the 5. He said no and hung up the phone. There's no guarantee. It was no guarantee he was getting it. Now, at court, the state did not contest. The state was hands off. The state's attorney was just sitting on the side like this. But the judge wasn't going. The judge was saying, how do I know you did not commit this crime? Prove to me you did not commit this crime. Listen, I can't prove to you what I did last Wednesday. I definitely cannot prove to you what I did 30 years ago. Well, all this is in the video. But the first watch the video that I just put out. It's the prelude to the series. The first chapter is going to be Jon Burge. Who is Jon Burge? How did he and his cronies and, you know, torture over 200 men? Obviously, there was a lot of people in on it. Why did they do it, and how did they get away with so long? What is a burner case? Why did this thing happen? And I'm gonna explain Jon Burge, the Midnight Crew, and the House of Scream. It goes. I wrote it in there. It's and go to that and read the description. It kind of tells you what's going on, because it's a hard thing to talk about. Read the description in the last video. It's I put from City Hall to death row. There's a stop in between, and the men call it the House of Screams. I thought that was pretty good myself. But anyways, I am wanted for HIPAA law violations. That video will be up in about 20 minutes. At beginning, was that a picture of the box you mentioned? At the beginning, was it at the beginning of what? Judges wants you to plead out. At the beginning of what was it? What are you talking about, Rocket? At the beginning of what was a picture of the box you mentioned? Oh yeah, yes. When the lady's holding it up, the lady, that's the box, and then the 2 little clips, they're alligator clips, like kind of like a briarette you put in your hair. It goes with tension. They would put them on the earlobes. They put them on the inside of the guy's ear. Andrew Wilson. They put them imagine where you could put them. That's what put out 100 volts of electricity. Now, if you were in the jungle of Vietnam and you needed electricity, I'm not saying, I'm just saying. Jon Burge is in Vietnam. He's interrogating Vietnamese. If you wanted electricity, there's no ComEd in the jungle. You might need a little box that you turn like this. Just so happens that's the same exact box as these men were being tortured with. But yes, that is the picture of the box. The lady holds it up, the box, and it's got wires coming out of it. It's got alligator clips. Just think of like an alligator's mouth. You push the ends back and they clamp on. Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. So read the description, and if you guys really are getting interested, do the Chicago Reader House of Screams. The Chicago Reader House of Screams. Google the Chicago Reader House of Screams, and that will give you, that kind of gives you, because they Andrew Wilson and Jackie Wilson, because this is a hard story to tell, because Andrew Wilson was a bad guy. Andrew Wilson was a bad guy. He killed 2 police officers, and he killed a 3rd person, in which he told his lawyers about, but he didn't want to come forward and say it because he was suing. He wrote an affidavit, and that guy spent 23 years in jail and didn't get released until Andrew Wilson died. And his lawyers came out with the box and said, you know, here's the affidavit. It was him all along. But because of, anyways, so it's a hard story to tell, because some of these guys that got tortured, at least Andrew Wilson, he was a bad guy. He was a career criminal, killed 3 people. He wasn't a good guy, you know. But I don't know. It's a hard story to tell. It's a very, very hard story to tell. My man, I got you right here. I'm gonna add you, Nightcrawler. Everybody go to Nightcrawler. Watch Nightcrawler's video. Nightcrawler has the video. He did the FOIA request, and he has the body camera footage of the cops running away from us when he had the camera. Hey, Nightcrawler, I was just at a scene. I'm on the run. They want me for videotaping a firefighter, which is illegal apparently, and HIPAA violations. I'm on the run for both of them. But go and read the description on my last video if you want to hear about the Jon Burge case, get a little bit to know about it. Read the description of my last video. I did a whole huge description. And read, Google House of Screams, Chicago Reader, or House of Screams, Jon Burge. I will be back, and I'll upload that video. Love you guys.